Thank you to everyone joining us for this virtual tour of Houston. I think what you will find is that Houston is an incredibly welcoming and sophisticated global city. And as mayor of Houston, I am always excited to tell Houston's story to people from around the world. Ours is the story of a city that has been leading the way for decades, with breakthrough innovations that have truly changed the world. We are transforming our already incredible economy into one that competes as a leading digital tech city. I like to say we have not just been running to build our innovation ecosystem, we have been sprinting. While Houston remains the energy capital of the world, Houston is much, much more than only oil and gas. Innovators in Houston are leading the charge towards creating a lower carbon future. And earlier this year, we launched the City of Houston's Climate Action Plan, and our innovation ecosystem is developing creative solutions to address these toughest challenges. It is an ambitious effort to ensure Houston will remain the energy capital of the world, and no other city in the world can compete with the energy expertise we have here in Houston. And no other city is better prepared to lead the global energy transition. But Houston is more than energy. We are a key life sciences hub, home to the world's largest medical center, which is caring for patients today and leading research and innovation to care patients into the future. We are the home of human spaceflight with the Johnson Space Center and an incredible aerospace-focused talent base that is leading the evolution to commercial space. And as the top exporting metro in the United States, Houston is a location of choice for advanced manufacturing, along with global logistics and transportation companies who are seeking access to the Americas and markets around the world. I should add that not only is Houston one of the fastest growing regions in the United States, we are also the most diverse big city in America. 1 in 4 Houstonians was born outside of the United States. This brings a unique global perspective to companies who call Houston home. Houston has a young, talented workforce, and in fact, we have the youngest workforce of major United States cities. These professionals come to Houston for our low cost of living, no state or local income taxes, and a strong, diverse economy, all the while enjoying our incredibly high quality of life with world-class culture, green space, sports, and the best culinary attractions. Bottom line, Houston is a global city like none other. We are welcoming and friendly, sophisticated and modern. What we have found is that the more that people see and hear about what is happening in Houston today, the more they are not just running, they are sprinting to get here. I am proud to be the mayor of this great city, and I look forward to welcoming you all here.
Doers, game changers, problem solvers, risk takers, Houstonians. We hail from every part of the country and every corner of the world, creating a global diversity and way of life that is uniquely Houston and world-class. While our shared roots are proudly planted in Texas, Houston's reach and influence is truly global. We're a modern cosmopolitan city where all cultures and customs are invited to blossom and contribute. A city where diversity isn't a goal, it's a vital thread in the tapestry of our community. A city where dreamers become doers, and ideas become innovations that truly change the world. In Houston, we don't just reach for the stars. We invent the technologies and build the tools that take us there. From pioneering medical breakthroughs to leading the transition to a more sustainable, lower carbon world, we solve the problems that matter most. Our business-friendly, pro-growth mindset supports both global corporations and disruptive startups alike. Houstonians enjoy the rich cultural amenities, unparalleled cuisine, and lush green spaces of a sophisticated global city, but at a cost of living well below the national average. Houston's exceptional quality of life, coupled with professional opportunity, attracts top-tier talent from around the world. And our strong educational systems, with nationally ranked universities, graduate schools, and community colleges, produce a workforce that is second to none. Our unique convergence of people, industries, and cultures are the key ingredients to our thriving economy and global competitiveness. In Houston, we do more than connect you to the world. We bring the world to you.
A truly global city, Houston is home to residents from around the world. Our diversity creates a genuine cultural identity and way of life that is uniquely Houston and world-class. We offer the cultural, recreational, and entertainment amenities of a big city, but at a cost of living well below the national average. Recognized as a culinary capital, Houston delivers on its reputation with over 11,000 restaurants and bars representing over 70 countries and domestic regions. James Beard award-winning chefs bring their unique fusion styles to tables across the city. Relish an upscale dining affair with the flavors of Mexico or Thailand. Enjoy an original cocktail in the heart of our Montrose district. Or taste a local brew from one of our many local breweries overlooking our downtown skyline. Houston truly has it all. You may also be surprised to learn that Houston is one of America's greenest cities. Our region boasts 500 miles of interconnected bikeways, 380 developed city parks, and 170 open spaces. And we're not stopping there. Through the investments of Houston's top corporate and civic leaders, by the end of this year, more than 3,000 acres of unused land will have been converted to public park space. The transformation of Houston's Memorial Park is one of the largest and most visionary urban parks projects currently underway in the U.S. Memorial Park's 100-acre Eastern Glades opened this summer as a park within a park that features wetlands, a 5-acre lake, trails, and plenty of space to play. One of the more remarkable features of the master plan is the land bridge that will connect each of the prairie wetlands on either side of Memorial Drive with a 30-foot-high land arc. Always on the move, Houston prides itself for the dynamic and cutting-edge new technologies and innovations in architecture, infrastructure, and design. From the transformation of a downtown parking lot into the wildly popular 12-acre Discovery Green Park, to the $460 million expansion of the Museum of Fine Arts Houston by acclaimed architect Stephen Holl. This is where the world's brightest minds converge to define 21st century urbanism. As Houston has transformed into a modern, sophisticated city with rich cultural amenities, global cuisine, and lush green spaces, we have remained welcoming and humble. There is more to this great city than work. Houstonians live well and play hard. It's true, the grass is getting greener in Houston, Texas, and we invite you to join.
My name is Sandy Guitar, and I am a managing director at the HX Venture Fund, alongside Guillermo Borda, who founded the firm about 2 years ago. I think Houston is positioned to be a top city for investment because it has both the talent and the capital that we need. We're also at the perfect time right now for an inflection point. And by that I mean we have developed the talent ecosystem here. We have the startup development organizations that can support the entrepreneur in their growth. And now with HX Venture Fund, we also have the capital coming in. Across our 11 investments, that is a collective $4 billion of capital seeking investment across the US, but specifically with Houston on the map. We've actually seen tremendous success here in the last several years. It's gone so much faster than I had ever had imagined. I think the time is right for bringing venture capital into Houston. HX Venture Fund is a venture capital fund-to-fund backed by many of Houston's top corporates, the likes of Shell, Chevron, Insperity, LyondellBasell, and Houston Methodist, a whole range of companies from a whole range of tech sectors. Our limited partners allow us to invest in multiple venture capital firms, each of whom invest in high-tech, growth startups here in the Houston ecosystem.
So OpenView Venture Partners invests in small business-to-business software companies. We call it expansion stage. We're Boston-based. We invest really anywhere in the world as long as a company has a strong North American customer market focus.
LeadEdge is a software internet investment firm. We tend to invest in companies at the small end that are kind of 10 to 15 million of revenues, up to companies that have several hundred million of revenues. We invest globally. Companies definitely do not need to only be focused in North America. We have several investments in Europe. We have several investments in Asia.
We've been investing in venture capital, Guillermo Borda and I, for the last 20 years. And so we have some sense of what's been going on in the industry. And really, we are at an inflection point, we believe, in the VC industry, whereby VCs are seeking to connect with significant corporates in order to develop a tech ecosystem that supports their underlying portfolio companies. And that's exactly what Houston has to offer.
Why Houston? There are cities across America where it is affordable to live and raise a family. You know, New York City and Boston and San Francisco do not make the list. Austin used to be, but it's not anymore. Versus think about like Houston or Indianapolis, and you know, some of these cities have great schools, great towns, great quality of life, great culture, great sports. And people, I think more and more, I think if anything, this pandemic is going to show that people, you can work from anywhere and build companies anywhere. You don't have to be in New York or San Francisco. And so I think that is attractive. And I think in any city where there's lots of big companies that could be potential customers, it is a natural place for startups to be able to build relationships with those companies. I also find people in Texas in general are just hugely helpful to one another. More so than people in San Francisco or New York.
My view on Houston is, first of all, it's a big city. It's very cosmopolitan. It's got some great sports and great entertainment of various kinds. And obviously some really great companies and universities and so on. And when you have all those ingredients, it's a matter of stirring them together and trying to kind of connect people and make it work, both locally and at the national level. And I think you guys are doing that, and my hat's off to you guys.
I also think that Houston is a really unique place to work, and the quality of life here is amazing. And unlike anywhere else with a vibrant tech ecosystem. So when you bring together the global nature of the people that make up Houston, and the diversity of entertainment, the fun, the quality of life, the standard of living that we can offer here, the geographic proximity, the weather, these are all the reasons that we think this is a great place to live and work.
Houston, Texas is no stranger to innovation. We're not afraid to roll up our sleeves, take risks, and confront challenges head-on to get the job done. We don't just reach for the stars. We invent the technologies and build the tools that take us directly to them. Innovation and problem solving are at the core of who we are and who we attract to our community. And they are the catalyst behind our large and growing concentration of tech talent and unique convergence of industries. Right in the heart of the 4-mile-long innovation corridor stretching from downtown Houston to the world's largest medical district, the Texas Medical Center, is the site of a transformational project that will serve as a nucleus for Houston's fast-growing, diverse, and inclusive innovation ecosystem. In early 2019, Rice University announced the development of a 16-acre innovation district that will encompass more than 5 million square feet of creative office, multifamily residential, retail, restaurant, hotel, and public park space open to all Houstonians. The district is anchored by the renovation of a historic Sears building into a 300,000 square foot collaboration hub known as the ION. Over $100 million will be invested by Rice University into the ION to catalyze a district that will set a new standard of urbanism, connectivity, and inclusivity in Houston. Set to open in early 2021, the ION is a collaboration space designed to inspire people to accelerate innovative and tech-forward solutions for the challenges facing the world. Rice University's goal is to increase collisions between the region's entrepreneurial, corporate, and academic communities. The ION will support businesses at all stages of the innovation lifecycle and provide resources for Houstonians seeking to participate in the innovation economy. Academic and corporate partners will be immersed in a robust and diverse environment of accelerators, workforce development programming, cross-university collaborations, and resources for entrepreneurs. We are building our innovation ecosystem, one entrepreneur at a time. And the ION in Houston's Innovation District are just one exciting part of this community-wide effort.
Greentown Lab's story begins in 2010 in a Cambridge warehouse with 4 startups who unintentionally created North America's largest climate tech incubator. They worked alongside each other late into the night, providing support through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship and a helping hand in the lab. Soon, that spirit of collaboration formed a community. The number of companies jumped from 17 to 25 to 55 in just a few short years. This rapid growth carried this unintentional incubator from its original Cambridge warehouse to Boston's Fort Point neighborhood to Somerville's Union Square, all by 2013. Somerville Mayor Joe Curtatone and his team helped Greentown Labs get started in a 33,000 square foot building there.
And this is some of the most consequential work being done anywhere, and I am thrilled.
The community and startups kept growing, and Greentown soon needed more space and resources to support their work. Once again, with the mayor's help, Greentown expanded to create what is today a 100,000 square foot campus across 3 buildings, which is home to about 100 companies. It offers prototyping and wet lab, a machine shop, an electronics shop, software, investor and corporate connections, and many other programs and resources curated to help climate tech startups thrive. Nearly 10 years and 280 startups later, this community of entrepreneurs is still Greentown's greatest resource and what many of our members say is their favorite part of Greentown. This strong community has led to the creation of more than 6,500 jobs, more than $900 million in capital raised, and at least $1.6 billion in regional economic impact. And along the way, an ecosystem of more than 50 corporate partners, hundreds of investors, policymakers, manufacturers, and other stakeholders has been built to support Greentown Labs startups who are tackling challenges across the largest greenhouse gas emitting sectors: electricity, buildings, transportation, ag tech and water, and manufacturing. But there's so much more work to be done. And when we looked around to see where building a community of entrepreneurs and a supportive ecosystem to address climate change would have the most impact, we chose Houston, Texas. Once again, we found an amazing partner in Mayor Sylvester Turner. And earlier this year, we announced plans for the creation of Greentown Houston.
I am excited that Greentown Labs, the nation's leading clean tech incubator, will launch operations in Houston, their first location outside of Boston. I cannot think of a better place than Houston, Texas, the energy capital of the world, to explore what is next for energy and how Houston can lead the energy transition.
Houston has long been known as the energy capital of the world, and its leadership understands that it must be the energy transition capital of the world going forward. The city is home to world-leading energy organizations and incredible engineering strength, talent, and assets that can and must be redeployed towards a decarbonized future. Houston has already begun this transition with the release of its ambitious climate action plan on Earth Day 2020. Houston's goal is to become carbon neutral by 2050. And the City of Houston municipality is the first major U.S. city to be powered by 100% renewable energy. It also has the largest concentration of renewable energy companies anywhere in the U.S. Greentown Houston will serve as an on-the-ground catalyst for continuing to drive progress on the energy transition. We plan to open the doors of the city's first climate tech startup incubator in the spring of 2021. Greentown Houston will provide more than 40,000 square feet of prototyping lab, office, and community space for about 50 young companies. Greentown Houston will be located in Houston's Innovation District, just 2 miles from downtown, positioning us close to several universities, other startup support organizations, investors, and corporate and civic leaders critical to the development of early-stage companies. And will be steps away from a Houston Metro Rail stop and be accessible by a new on-street protected bikeway. We are already accepting members into our new community and have welcomed 16 inaugural Greentown startups to date. By opening Greentown Houston, we aim to build a bridge between our two home cities to have the best and brightest engineering and business minds working together on our global climate challenge. We welcome you to join us in leading the energy transition and scaling climate action.